Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Men are simple, but we are not stupid. When it comes to making the first move, reaching out, or chasing a woman, it all starts with one thing: how you make him feel about himself. A man will always reach out first when his pride, his ego, and his emotions find a safe place with you. When a man feels emotionally safe and respected, something powerful happens inside him. He starts to open up. That's the moment he begins to see you as more than just a pretty face. See, men are raised in a world where they're told to be tough, to never show weakness, and to always stay in control. So when he meets a woman who doesn't try to compete with him, fix him, or challenge his every move, but instead makes him feel accepted and understood, that's when he feels safe. And safety for a man isn't about being soft. It's about being seen. It's about knowing that he can be himself without being judged or criticized. When he senses that kind of energy from a woman, he doesn't hesitate to reach out. He's drawn to her because that kind of peace is rare in this world. Respect is another piece of that puzzle. You can love a man, admire him, even adore him, but if he doesn't feel respected, he'll pull back. Respect to a man means you see his effort even when he's not perfect. You acknowledge his intentions, not just his results. You don't talk down to him, embarrass him, or make him feel small to prove your point. A man will move mountains for a woman who makes him feel like a man, not because she's submissive or weak, but because she knows how to balance strength with softness. When a woman learns to speak to a man's spirit, not just his actions, she touches a part of him that no one else reaches. That's the woman he can't forget. When a man feels that emotional safety, he's not afraid to be vulnerable. He'll call first, he'll text first, he'll make plans, he'll chase, not out of obligation, but out of desire, because that woman becomes his peace. And men chase peace harder than anything else. You might think he's chasing beauty or success, but deep down, every man is looking for that calm in the storm. The woman who listens without judgment, who doesn't react out of insecurity, who gives him space to be human, that's the woman he keeps coming back to. But here's the catch. Emotional safety doesn't mean you tolerate disrespect or lower your standards. It means you stay graceful under pressure. You don't need to argue every time he pulls away. You don't panic when he goes silent. You hold your position because you know your worth doesn't depend on his attention. That kind of strength creates emotional safety for both of you. It shows him that you're not fragile, that you're not waiting for him to make you feel complete. You're whole already, and that's magnetic. Men reach out when they feel emotionally respected and safe because that's the space where they can be real. When a man doesn't have to perform or pretend, he's free to connect. And when he feels that freedom with you, trust me, he'll always be the one to reach out first. Confidence in a woman is one of the most powerful things that pulls a man in and makes him want to reach out first. It's not about arrogance or showing off, but that quiet assurance that says, I know who I am and I'm good with that. When a woman walks in a room with that energy, it's magnetic. She doesn't need validation, attention, or approval. She's already given that to herself. Men feel that difference instantly. Confidence has a vibration and it commands attention without saying a word. When a man senses that kind of self-assuredness, he becomes curious. He starts wondering what it is about her that feels different, what gives her that glow. And that curiosity is what makes him take the first step, send the first message, or make the first call. Men are naturally drawn to women who carry themselves with certainty because confidence gives off security. A confident woman doesn't play games, doesn't beg, and doesn't chase. She's not desperate for attention because she knows her value doesn't decrease just because someone doesn't see it. That energy challenges a man in the best way. It makes him want to show up to prove that he's worthy of her attention. You see, men are hunters by nature, but they don't chase confusion. They chase clarity. A confident woman is clear about what she wants and what she won't tolerate. She doesn't send mixed signals, and that's what makes a man step up first. Confidence also changes how you communicate. You don't overthink every word or every text. You don't need to be overly available or overly distant. You move with balance. You give just enough to show interest, but you leave space for him to come toward you. That space is where the chase happens. When a man sees that you're content with your life, your goals, your peace, your happiness, he wants to be a part of it. Confidence says, I'm not waiting for you to make me happy, but I'd love to share my happiness with you. That right there is what makes a man reach out, because he knows he's stepping into something genuine, not a situation built on neediness or fear. When a woman lacks confidence, her energy tells a man she's waiting to be chosen. But when she's confident, her energy says she's already chosen herself, and that makes a man want to earn his place in her life. He doesn't see her as another option. He sees her as the prize. And the truth is, confident women don't have to announce their worth. They show it in how they carry themselves, how they walk away from what doesn't serve them, and how they stay grounded no matter what. So when a man meets a woman who knows her worth, he feels something different. He feels inspired, not pressured. He feels intrigued, not confused. And that feeling pushes him to reach out first because he knows she's the kind of woman he doesn't want to let slip away. A man reaches out when he senses genuine feminine energy, not desperation. There's something about a woman who's in tune with her softness, her grace, and her calm presence that draws a man in without her having to say a word. Feminine energy isn't about makeup, dresses, or flirtation. It's about peace. It's the kind of energy that says, I don't need to control everything. I trust myself. I trust life. And I know my worth. That kind of woman doesn't chase, doesn't cling, and doesn't force. She allows. She lets things unfold naturally, and that's exactly what makes a man feel drawn to her. Men crave that softness because the world doesn't give it to them often. They face pressure, judgment, and expectations everywhere they go. So when a woman comes along radiating warmth instead of worry, calm instead of chaos, it feels like a breath of fresh air. That's the energy that makes him pick up his phone first. Desperation, on the other hand, is loud. It shows up in the way you overthink, the way you check your phone every few minutes, the way you try too hard to get his attention. Men can sense that energy even from a distance. When a woman carries desperation, it tells a man she doesn't believe she's enough on her own. And instead of pulling him closer, it pushes him away. You see, men want to feel that when they reach out, it's because they want to, not because they have to. They're attracted to women who give them space to move, not pressure to perform. Feminine energy gives them that space. It doesn't demand, it inspires. It doesn't beg, it attracts. When a woman is in her feminine flow, she knows how to receive without trying to control. She's comfortable letting a man be a man, letting him lead, call, plan, and pursue without feeling like she's losing power. True power isn't in chasing, it's in knowing when to sit back and let things come to you. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. A woman who understands, that knows how to maintain her peace even when things are uncertain. That patience and composure tell a man she's secure within herself. And when a man senses that calm confidence, he feels invited to reach out, not obligated. Feminine energy also brings emotional balance into a man's life. It doesn't compete with his masculinity, it complements it. It says, you don't have to prove anything here. You can just be. That kind of acceptance is rare. It makes a man feel safe enough to connect and curious enough to chase. He doesn't feel drained by her energy. He feels recharged. So when he meets a woman who gives off that steady, peaceful presence instead of anxious energy, he wants more of it. That's why he calls first, why he texts first, and why he keeps showing up. Because genuine feminine energy doesn't have to chase. It naturally pulls him in. Mystery makes a man chase, but availability makes him pause. There's a fine balance between being open and being completely predictable, and that balance is what keeps a man intrigued enough to reach out first. When a woman has mystery, she doesn't reveal everything about herself right away. She leaves room for curiosity, for imagination, for pursuit. A mysterious woman isn't hiding anything. She's just not laying all her cards on the table. She lets a man earn pieces of her story over time. And the beauty of that is, every time he learns something new about her, he feels like he's discovering a hidden treasure. That feeling is addictive. It keeps him coming back, texting, calling, and wanting to know more. Men are hunters by nature, but the chase isn't about playing games. It's about engagement. It's about keeping a man's mind and emotions active. When a woman is mysterious, she keeps him guessing just enough to stay interested, but not so much that he feels confused or shut out. She knows when to be present and when to pull back. That space she creates makes him wonder what she's doing, who she's with, and what she's thinking about. And that curiosity becomes the fuel that drives his effort. He'll start conversations just to feel close to her energy again. He'll initiate plans just to get a little more time with her. Mystery makes a man feel like he's earning something special, and that sense of pursuit gives his actions meaning. On the other hand, being too available takes the thrill away. When a woman is always ready to answer, always waiting, and always saying yes, she unintentionally removes the excitement. Men appreciate effort, but they value what they have to work for. Availability that lacks boundaries can feel like desperation, even if that's not the intention. When a man knows he can reach you at any time, he doesn't feel urgency. But when he senses that you have your own life, your own priorities, and your own world, he realizes he needs to make an effort if he wants to be part of it. That realization is what makes him reach out first, because he knows your time is valuable and he wants to earn it. Mystery also keeps emotional tension alive, which is important in attraction. It's not about manipulation. It's about maintaining your individuality within the connection. You can be warm, kind, and genuine while still leaving space for discovery. When you don't overshare, over-explain, or over-invest too soon, you naturally create a rhythm that draws him in. He'll start reaching out, not because he's obligated, but because he's intrigued. Every unanswered question becomes a reason to come closer. And when he finally does, he feels that sense of reward, that sense of accomplishment, that says, I earned her attention. That's the power of mystery. It keeps him reaching out again and again. When a woman values herself, she sets the tone for pursuit. Everything about how a man treats you starts with how you treat yourself. A woman who knows her worth doesn't have to demand respect. She commands it by the way she carries herself, the boundaries she sets, and the energy she allows around her. When a man sees that you have standards, he understands that he's dealing with someone different. She's not chasing attention, she's not begging for time, and she's not settling for half-hearted effort that instantly separates her from everyone else. A man is instinctively drawn to what he perceives as valuable. If you treat yourself like a prize, he'll approach you like one. But if you undervalue yourself, he'll sense it and act accordingly. Self-value isn't about arrogance, it's about clarity. It's knowing what you deserve and refusing to negotiate your peace for anyone. When a woman holds herself to that level, she becomes a mirror to a man. She makes him look at himself and decide whether he's ready to rise to her level or stay where he is. And here's the truth. Men respect what they have to earn. When you set your standards high and stand by them, the right man won't be turned off, he'll be motivated. Because deep down, men love a challenge that feels worth it. The woman who values herself doesn't lower her standards to make a man comfortable. She keeps them high and waits for the one who's ready to meet her there. That's why she never has to chase. The right man steps up on his own. When a woman values herself, she moves differently. She doesn't beg for closure. She doesn't argue to prove her worth. And she doesn't overstay in situations that drain her. She walks away gracefully because she knows her silence speaks louder than any explanation. That self-respect is powerful. It tells a man everything he needs to know about how to treat her. And when he realizes she's not desperate for his validation, he feels compelled to earn her attention. Men are drawn to women who seem complete without